Hey, how's it going, fight fans? Welcome to mindforcombat. If you're new to this channel, my name's Rohan. It's my platform where I do MMA and boxing related content, and for this video I'm going to be giving you guys a breakdown on the upcoming welterweight main event to finalise the Bellator welterweight Grand Prix between Rory Macdonald and Douglas Lima. It's actually the rematch between them. The first fight was absolutely exceptional. If you ain't seen it, definitely go watch it. And for this video, let's break down the main event. Now, coming into this fight, there's a couple of things we need to consider. Firstly, Rory Macdonald, he has taken a lot of punishment in his career. He's still a very young man. He's only 30 years old, which makes him only a year older than me. But he's still very, very young. Still very, very talented. Has got lots and lots to offer, as we saw against Nam and Gracie. However, he has taken a lot of wear and tear in his career. Obviously, the war with Robbie Lawler, we love to watch those fights. But those fights impact fighters. And then after that, he had that tough fight with John Fitch. Obviously, he got smashed by a game before the fight with John Fitch. But he had a tough fight with John Fitch where it was a draw. And I thought going into that, he should dominate that fight if all things being equal and Rory being the Rory that we know and love. However, it weren't the case. And after that, he voiced some concerns about maybe not being able to do this no more. So you've got to wonder mentally, where is he? Douglas Lima comes into this fight, however, a ferocious animal as he's ever been. He is absolutely motivated, absolutely wants to be here, and he's just an animal for human being. He's just a really, really violent fighter. So coming into this fight, there's a lot of psychological and mental factors that we need to take into consideration that maybe have a bit more of an impact in this fight than they would as opposed to their first fight. Now let's go through the Taylor's tape and break it down. Rory Mac is 30 years old in his athletic prime, but he has been around for a long time and he has voiced concerns about losing motivation for this. At 30 years old, I wouldn't say he's aging, but you've got to wonder where his mental state is. Douglas Lima is also young. He's only 31 years old, so he's also in his physical prime. So this rematch is being held in both of their physical primes. Rory Macdonald has a professional record of 21 wins, 5 losses and 1 draw. He's been around for a long time in the world of mixed martial arts in UFC, and in Bellator he's been with Bellator for some time now. He's won a world title with Bellator and he's obviously done really, really well over in UFC. I'll talk about some of his key wins. And he fights Douglas Lima, the former 2-time Bellator welterweight champion and 2-time Bellator Grand Prix winner and former MFC, I believe it's MFC, world champion as well. I think world champion is a relative term there, but he won that belt as well, and he has a professional record of 31 wins and 7 losses. Comes into this fight is in his 39th professional fight at only 31 years old. He is a very active, dangerous human being. Rory Macdonald stands at 6 foot tall, which makes him an inch shorter than Douglas Lima. Not really much there, but Rory Macdonald actually has a inch and a half in reach advantage with a 76-inch reach as opposed to Douglas Lima's 74.5-inch reach. To describe their fighting style, well, Rory Macdonald's got an all-round style. He's always been lauded for his ability to mix it all up. He's started training mixed martial arts from the beginning. He didn't start off as a wrestler or a striker, and that shows in his fighting style. He can do it all. He's a really talented fighter. And Douglas Lima, whilst yes, he can do it all, I would categorise him as a devastating finishing striker. He's a demolisher on his feet, and he's absolutely outstanding. Douglas Lima is a striker. That's how I would describe his skill set. Let's look at some of their key wins. Rory Macdonald has a long resume of key wins from Nate Diaz back in Nate Diaz's initial welterweight run. He beat BJ Penn right after BJ Penn was main eventing against Nick Diaz, so that win holds a bit more weight than beating BJ Penn over the last 3 or 4 years, I would say. He's beaten the likes of Jake Ellenberger when Jake Ellenberger was a 2-fight win streak and was a title contender. Jake Ellenberger had gone 9-1 in his last 10 coming into that fight, so you have to consider Jake Ellenberger a title contender coming into that fight, and he got the win in a very boring fight, but he got the win, so there's that. He's beaten Damian Maia, the former 2-time UFC world title challenger and UFC main eventer on the same weekend as Rory Macdonald's fight actually. And he's I'm actually doing a breakdown for Damian Maia vs Ben Askren, so if you ain't seen it, check out my channel, check out that video. Just quickly sidestep, sorry about that guys. He's obviously beaten Paul Daly, Douglas Lima as well, Naaman Gracie, who we beat most recently. He's beaten Tyron Woodley, the former UFC welterweight champion. Rory Macdonald has beaten a lot of great guys, been around for a long time, so he deserves a lot of respect. Douglas Lima's beaten a lot of great guys as well on the regional circuit, some guys that I really respect, like Ryan Ford, who's actually a pretty respected boxer at the moment in time. He's beaten Ben Saunders not once but twice. Ben Saunders is a really respected veteran of the mixed martial arts game, if not a top tier fighter, but he is really respected. He's beaten the likes of Rick Horn, Brian Baker, both good guys, both really talented guys. He's beaten Lawrence Larkin, a guy who I think a lot of. He knocked out he didn't knock out, he beat Paul Daly, knocked out MVP most recently, and he's beaten Andrei Korishkov not once but twice, so he's got a long list as well. Now, issues for Rory Macdonald, the issue is going to be simple. I kind of alluded to this earlier, but it's going to be his wear and tear and his motivation. How much damage has he taken, and how much motivation does he have to carry on fighting? I think those are going to be the biggest things coming into this fight. And for Douglas Lima, I believe the issue for him is going to be what Rory Macdonald used in his first fight is his wrestling. You got to wonder if Douglas Lima has shored up his defensive wrestling coming into this fight, because if he hasn't, then Rory Mac is definitely going to, utilize that. The X factor for Rory Macdonald coming into this fight, A, is his wrestling, and B, is the fact that he's 1-0 against Douglas Lima. So how's that going to play out for Douglas Lima? His X factor is going to be that he's got incredible power in striking, very dynamic, and he's incredibly motivated to get a rematch. How does the fight play out? Well, firstly, we know that this fight is a competitive one. They fought previously, and it was very, very competitive. They met in the square. Rory Macdonald left not being able to walk, but he left away with the victory. Douglas Lima put him through hell to get it. Douglas Lima is a tough, talented fighter, still very young, still very motivated, and he looks to be improving. Coming into this fight, off that huge knockout win over MVP, he rides a wave of momentum. He's also beaten Andrei Korishkov as well, and he showed that he's improved his ground game as well in the fight with Andrei Korishkov, so that's something that we've got to consider. Rory Macdonald, on the other hand, despite winning his last fight, I have questions about Rory Macdonald's mentality and if he really wants to be there. That makes me wonder if he should be in the cage with an animal like Douglas Lima. If I'm honest with you, I see that Douglas Lima is going to be able to keep this fight standing on this time around. I feel like he's going to have made the changes in his game to be able to allow him to keep this fight standing, and on the feet he can do damage to Rory Macdonald. I believe that over the course of 5 rounds, he's going to batter Rory Macdonald, he's going to batter his legs, and he's going to expose that badly damaged nose, and Rory Macdonald's going to get bloodied up, busted up. The difference this time is, this isn't 2015 where Rory Macdonald was just a psycho. He was hungry, motivated, and wanted to be there. Things have changed, and he's talked about not being able to do this no more. I believe this time around, Douglas Lima is going to be able to expose those mental insecurities that Rory Macdonald may have and utilize his devastating stand-up game to edge his way into a victory. And as the fight plays out, I believe that Douglas Lima is going to finish this fight in round 4 or 5. Late round 4 or early round 5 stoppage, we're going to see Douglas Lima to reclaim the belt, rebound from that loss, get that win back, and win the Bellator welterweight Grand Prix and cement himself as one of the best welterweights in the entire world, not just Bellator, but in the entire scheme of the world of mixed martial arts. So fight fans, I'm going to go with Douglas Lima to get the victory and get the belt around his waist. So why don't you guys let me know how you guys see this fight going? It's a kind of difficult fight to pick because there's so much intangible stuff that I'm considering coming into this fight, but I'm leaning on Douglas Lima, and I'll be interested to know how some of you guys got it. Some of you guys are some of the most educated people I've ever spoken to about on fighting, guys like yourself, Bradford Ladd. You guys always give me tons and tons of great information coming into the fight, and I'm really interested to see how you guys got it. So guys, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new here, comment below with your video predictions, let me know if you've got any criticism for me. Anyways, thank you for watching guys. I'm Rohan, this is Mindful Combat. Thank you.